Picture this. It's a quiet morning in Portogruaro, a small town in northeastern Italy, the kind of place tourists drive through without stopping. And tucked away behind the fence of a local gardening company, hidden from public view, sits a machine that the heavy equipment world has been whispering about for over 40 years. It is 40 feet long. It weighs 183 metric tons. Its blade is wider than a city bus. It is powered by 2 Caterpillar diesel engines, producing a combined 1,350 horsepower, and it has never officially existed. Caterpillar has never confirmed it. Caterpillar has never sold it. Caterpillar has never publicly acknowledged it. But every single major component of that machine, the engines, the tracks, the drivetrain, the hydraulics, every piece that matters, came out of a Caterpillar factory.
This is the story of the Dozer that Caterpillar built in secret and then buried forever, a machine bigger than the legendary D11, a machine that should have been the D12, a machine that for one brief moment in the early 1980s was on the verge of changing the entire global construction equipment industry. And then, geopolitics, corporate strategy, and a series of deliberate decisions inside Caterpillar's Peoria, Illinois headquarters made sure it never saw the light of day. Today, we are going to break down the full story of the machine the world wasn't supposed to know about, the Phantom D12, the buried prototype, the Italian secret, and the Australian contractors who got tired of waiting and built their own. Before we start, hit subscribe and drop a comment with the next machine you want us to cover. The one with the most likes becomes our next video. Let's get into it.
To understand the D12 mystery, you have to understand the D11. In 1986, Caterpillar launched the D11N, 770 horsepower, 230,000 pounds, the largest and most powerful bulldozer the company had ever produced. It was Caterpillar's answer to the Komatsu D575A and the threat from Japanese manufacturers who had spent the previous 15 years trying to overtake American dominance in the heavy equipment industry. The D11 was a phenomenal success. By the early 1990s, hundreds of them were operating in the largest open pit mines on Earth, from Chilean copper mines to Australian iron ore operations to the coal fields of Wyoming. The D11 became the gold standard for ultra-large earth moving. But here's where the story takes a strange turn. Almost immediately after the D11 launched, customers started asking the obvious question: when is the D12 coming? The logic was straightforward. Caterpillar had spent decades pushing the size envelope. The D7 became the D8, the D8 became the D9, the D9 became the D10, the D10 became the D11. Every generation had introduced a bigger, more powerful machine for customers who are running ever larger mining operations. By the mid-1990s, mining trucks were doubling in capacity. Open pit mines were getting deeper. Overburden volumes were exploding. The natural assumption was that Caterpillar would respond with the D12, a machine that would be to the D11 what the D11 had been to the D10. 40 years later, that machine still does not officially exist. And the reason it does not exist is one of the most quietly fascinating strategic decisions in the history of the heavy equipment industry. But before we get to why Caterpillar killed the D12, we need to talk about the machine that did get built, the one sitting in that Italian gardening yard, the Acco Super Bulldozer. The story of the Acco begins in 1980 in Portogruaro, Italy, at a company called Umberto Acco. The Acco company had been building infrastructure equipment since 1945 and was registered with the Italian Builders Register in 1965. They had a reputation for taking on the kinds of projects nobody else would touch, and in 1980, they took on a project that nobody else on Earth was capable of completing. The Libyan government, under Muammar Gaddafi, commissioned a single one-off bulldozer to be the largest ever built. The intended use was massive land development and infrastructure projects across the Libyan desert, pipeline trenching, road construction, oil field development, the kind of work that required moving more material faster than any existing machine on the planet could move it.
Acco accepted the contract and faced an immediate problem. Building a bulldozer that size from scratch was effectively impossible. The engineering required was beyond what a small Italian construction equipment company could develop internally. So Acco made a strategic decision. They would build the machine using Caterpillar components. The engines came from Caterpillar, 2 of them, each one a Caterpillar 3408 V8 diesel producing 675 horsepower. mounted in a horizontally opposed configuration for compact packaging. Combined output, 1,350 horsepower. The tracks came from Caterpillar's larger mining equipment line, adopted for the unprecedented weight. The drivetrain incorporated Caterpillar planetary final drives. The hydraulics used Caterpillar pumps and cylinders. Of every major mechanical component on the Acco Super Bulldozer, the vast majority traced back to a Caterpillar factory.
But the blade was something else entirely. 23 feet wide, 9 feet tall, larger than anything Caterpillar had ever manufactured. The ripper at the rear of the machine stood 10 feet tall on its own and was powered by hydraulic rams larger than those found on any production dozer. The total length from blade tip to ripper rear was over 40 feet. The operating weight was 183 metric tons, which is approximately 403,000 pounds. To put that in perspective, the Caterpillar D11 weighs 230,000 pounds. The Komatsu D575A Super Dozer weighs 336,000 pounds. The Acco Super Bulldozer was nearly 20% heavier than the largest production bulldozer Komatsu had ever built, and it was built using Caterpillar parts.
Acco completed the machine in the early 1980s. It underwent a single test run in southern Italy. By every measurable specification, it worked. It moved under its own power. The engine synchronized. The hydraulics functioned. The blade could theoretically displace up to 90 cubic yards of material in a single pass. It was, by every honest engineering measurement, the largest and most powerful tracked bulldozer ever constructed in human history. And then the geopolitics arrived. In 1986, the United States imposed a sweeping trade embargo against Libya following Gaddafi's involvement in international terrorism. The United Nations followed with additional sanctions through the late 1980s and into the early 1990s. The Acco Super Bulldozer, sitting completed and ready to ship in Portogruaro, could not legally be delivered to its intended customer. The contract that had paid for the machine was now illegal to fulfill.
Acco had no choice. The machine that had been built for one specific contract had nowhere else to go. There were no other customers in the world who needed a 183-ton custom bulldozer. The Acco company itself eventually collapsed. Umberto Acco died. His son died shortly afterward. The company left no heirs capable of managing the business. By 2008, the Acco facility is being used as a dumping ground for surplus earth-moving equipment. The Super Bulldozer sat there, slowly deteriorating, the largest dozer ever built, becoming a slowly rusting monument to a project that should have changed the industry. In May of 2012, the machine was moved under its own power for the first time in decades. Yes, after 30 years of sitting unused, the engine still started, and the bulldozer drove itself onto a transport trailer that took it to a local gardening company in the same town. That gardening company has housed it ever since, preserving it for an eventual public display that has not yet been built.
Now, here is where the story gets strange. The Acco Super Bulldozer was not a Caterpillar product, but it was, in every meaningful sense, what a Caterpillar D12 would have looked like. Bigger than the D11, more powerful than anything in the Caterpillar lineup, built using Caterpillar components and Caterpillar engineering principles. And Caterpillar knew it existed. The Acco machine was openly photographed during construction. It appeared in trade publications. It was demonstrated publicly. Caterpillar engineers in Peoria were absolutely aware that an Italian company had effectively built a D12 using Cat parts. And Caterpillar's response was silence. Total, deliberate, strategic silence.
Inside Caterpillar's engineering organization, the question of a D12 had been studied repeatedly throughout the 1990s and into the 2000s. Multiple internal feasibility programs explored whether to build an official Caterpillar bulldozer larger than the D11. The engineering was not the problem. Caterpillar had the manufacturing capacity, the component supply chain, the engineering talent, and the dealer network to support a machine in that size class. The problem was the market. By the early 2000s, Caterpillar's analysis of global mining operations had reached a clear conclusion. The number of mines on Earth large enough to economically justify a bulldozer significantly larger than the D11 was simply too small to support a commercially viable production program.
Komatsu had already learned this lesson with the D575A. Despite being objectively superior to the D11 on raw specifications, the D575A only sold approximately 53 units worldwide across its entire production run from 1991 to 2012. By contrast, Caterpillar sold thousands of D11s during the same period.
The math was brutal. If Caterpillar built a D12, they would compete for the same handful of customers who were already buying D575As, and they would have to amortize the entire development cost of a brand new machine over a production run that might never exceed 50 to 100 units total. The investment would be massive. The return would be marginal. The strategic decision was made. Caterpillar would not build a D12. Instead, they would continue to refine the D11 with progressively more powerful engines, smarter electronics, better hydraulics, and eventually GPS-based automation. The current D11 produces 850 net horsepower, has integrated grade control technology, and can be operated remotely from a control room hundreds of miles away. That is the engineering response Caterpillar chose. Make the D11 better, indefinitely, instead of building a new machine that would never recover its development cost.
But here is where the conspiracy theories about the D12 actually started gaining traction. Because despite Caterpillar's public position that no D12 exists or is planned, leaked engineering sketches began appearing in heavy equipment forums starting in the early 2000s. Concept drawings of something called the D13 Millennium were circulated by industry insiders. Photographs of unmarked dozers operating at remote test sites in Wyoming, Montana, and Western Australia were posted by operators who swore the machines were larger than any production D11 they had ever seen. Forum threads on the heavy equipment forums and the ACMOC and ACME Classic Caterpillar Enthusiast forums filled up with eyewitness accounts. One veteran operator claimed he worked on a job in the early 1990s where Caterpillar was field testing a prototype too large for the D11's production tracks. He insisted he saw it. Others called him a liar. The debate has continued for over 30 years. And then, in 2025, photographs appeared on Instagram that changed everything. Posted by a machinery spotter named Michael Bullock, also known as @TheEnglishEarthMover, the images showed something that the heavy equipment community had been hunting for decades: a working bulldozer that looked unmistakably like the mythical Caterpillar D12, operating in the field, in Queensland, Australia, with the original photographer credited as a man named Lawrence Lowe. Bullock's caption was direct: "D12s do exist." The catch was that the machine in the photos was not built by Caterpillar. It was built by Mearns Hire, a Queensland-based contractor established in 1965 that specializes in some of the toughest land clearing work in Australia. Their work involves blade plowing through rock-hard outback soil, slicing through deep-rooted scrub, and reseeding vast tracts of land. The standard Caterpillar D11 simply was not big enough for what they needed to do. So Mearns Hire built their own. Starting with a standard Caterpillar D11R or D11N as the foundation, they stretched the chassis to make room for a significantly larger power plant. Out came the standard D11 850 horsepower V8 engine. In went a power unit producing 1,250 horsepower. That is 400 horsepower more than a factory D11. The original D11 transmission was retained, but pair it with components from a haul truck to handle the increased torque. The radiator system was completely redesigned, with a secondary transmission oil cooler mounted high on the rollover protective frame. The result is a working machine that drags a 10-meter wide blade plow through unforgiving Australian outback terrain for hours at a time in second gear. The Mearns Hire conversions are not factory Caterpillar D12s, but they prove something more important. They prove that the engineering for a D12 is absolutely possible. They prove that the market in certain specialized applications absolutely exists. And they prove that contractors who need a machine bigger than the D11 are willing to build it themselves rather than wait for Caterpillar to officially launch one. So why has Caterpillar not built a factory D12? The answer comes back to the same brutal market reality that has shaped every decision in the ultra-class bulldozer category: total cost of ownership. The Mearns hire conversions work because they are operating in a specialized niche where the standard D11 falls just short of the productivity needed. But they are also one-off custom machines, maintained by specialists with parts compatibility cobbled together from multiple sources. A factory Caterpillar D12 would have to be supported by Caterpillar's global dealer network, stocked with parts in every regional warehouse, serviced by trained technicians, and warrantied like any other Caterpillar product. The cost of all that support infrastructure, spread over a production run that might top out at 50 units, would make the per-machine pricing astronomical. The Komatsu D575A program never recovered its development costs across its entire 21-year production run. Caterpillar studied that case carefully. They are not going to repeat it.
But the legend of the D12 will not die. Every year, new photos surface, new rumors emerge. Operators at remote mining sites claim they see machines that do not match any production Caterpillar specifications.
Form threads cycle through the same theories every few years. The leaked D13 millennial sketch from the early 2000s still circulates. The Mearns hire conversions in Australia continue working. The Acco Super Bulldozer sits preserved in an Italian gardening yard, the largest tracked bulldozer ever built, made entirely of Caterpillar parts, never officially associated with Caterpillar. And somewhere in Caterpillar's archives in Peoria, Illinois, there exist engineering studies, feasibility reports, and concept drawings of what an official D12 would have looked like. Those documents are not public. They probably never will be public, but they exist.
The Dozer Caterpillar built in secret was never an officially badged D12. It was the cumulative effort of every alternative path that bypassed Caterpillar's official refusal to make one. The Acco Super Bulldozer, built with Caterpillar engines and Caterpillar drivetrain components in Italy in 1980. The Mearns hire conversions, built on Caterpillar D11 chassis in Queensland decades later. The leaked sketches that have circulated through the industry for 30 years. The eyewitness accounts of unmarked machines at remote test sites. All of them point to the same conclusion. The D12 is not a machine Caterpillar refused to build because they could not build it. The D12 is a machine Caterpillar refused to build because they calculated with cold precision that it would never make economic sense. And so the dozer that should have existed was buried inside engineering reports, inside corporate strategy documents, inside the patient, profitable, brutally pragmatic logic of the largest construction equipment company on Earth. Walk through a heavy equipment museum anywhere in the world today, and you will not find a Caterpillar D12. You will find every other generation, the D8, the D9, the D10, the D11. The missing slot is conspicuous. The question of what would have been if Caterpillar had built it remains one of the most fascinating unanswered questions in modern industrial history. The Acco Super Bulldozer sits in its Italian gardening yard, slowly being preserved for a public display that may eventually open. The Mearns hire machines keep working the Australian outback. The Caterpillar D11 keeps getting better, year after year, generation after generation, the ceiling that Caterpillar deliberately decided not to break through. And somewhere, in a filing cabinet in Peoria, the engineering studies for the D12 that was never built sit untouched, the most successful product launch in the company's history precisely because it never happened.
That is the story of the dozer Caterpillar built in secret and buried forever. A machine that exists in pieces, in fragments, in conversions, in the engineering DNA of every other large dozer Caterpillar has ever produced. A machine that proves the most important strategic decisions in industrial history are sometimes the ones that result in nothing being built at all. If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe, drop a comment with the next machine you want us to cover, and we'll see you on the next one.